She wasn't sent to love, she was sent to destroy. This is not just a story, it is a tale of a broken vows, cursed bloodline, and a queen who rose from the dead to finish what love could not. The moon hung low over the village of Umuaka. The trees whispered secret to the night wind, and the palace was quiet, too quiet. Inside the king's chamber, the air was heavy with sadness. The queen, loved by all, lay weak on a bed of woven raffia and soft animal skin. Her face was pale, her breath slow. King Obieze, a mighty warrior, feared across 7 kingdoms, knelt by her side. His eyes, known to burn like fire in battle, now held tears. He held her hand tightly, refusing to let go. The queen's voice came soft, like the rustle of dried leaf.
Promise me, my king,
she whispered.
Promise me that when I leave this world, you will not take another woman in my place. Our love is too strong to share.
The king swallowed hard.
I promise, Ada. You are the only one my heart has ever known. If you go, I will walk this path alone.
A weak smile touched her lips.
Then I will rest in peace.
And with that, Queen Adamma took her final breath. That night, all of Umuaka wept. A drum beat low in the distance, not for celebration, but for mourning. Fire were light and women waved into the sky. The great queen had passed away. From that day, King Obieze wore only black and the red beads of mourning. He refused to speak of love or laughter or weddings. He poured his heart into training their only son, Prince Ikem. The boy was brave, smart, just like his father. Together, they rode into battle, winning every war. They became legends, a storm that no enemy dared to face. Whispers ran through the markets and faraway lands. Do not anger the king and his son, or your bones will tell the tale. Years passed, but King Obieze never forgot his vow. The people honored him for his strength and loyalty, but in the dark corners of the land, not everyone admired him. Far beyond the hills and rivers, in the enemy's camp, a meeting was held. Bitter men with wounded pride spoke of revenge, and one of them, with a twisted smile, said, "Let us ask the river tribe for help. Their beauty is deadly, their lies sweeter than palm wine." And so, a dark plan was born. But in Umuaka, no one knew. The king slept peacefully, believing his kingdom was safe, his heart forever closed. Little did he know, a shadow was already walking towards his gate. The enemies traveled deep into the forest, where birds no longer sang. Trees grew so tall they hid the sun. At the heart of it was the river that moved without sound, cold and clear. It glowed under the moon. This was the home of the river tribe, beautiful, strange, and feared. The queen, Magi, sat upon a rock. Her skin shimmered like water. Around her were maidens, more beautiful than any seen in the woman world.
We want the king and his son.
The war chief said.
Help us, and we will give you whatever you ask.
Queen Magi smiled, her teeth white like cowrie's shell. You cannot buy our help, but we hate that king. His warriors poison our waters during wars. We will help you. She stood up and turned to her maidens. Bring me Neka. From the crowd stepped a maiden whose beauty could silence thunder. Her eyes were deep, her skin like polished bronze. "You will go to Umuaka," the queen said. "You will be lost, broken, helpless. Let your tears fall like the river. Let your lies flow like stories. Win the king's heart. Break the bond between him and his son." Nneka bowed her head.
I understand.
"Do not fail," Queen Mmaji warned. "If you fall in love, if you forgot who you are, the river will call you back and you will drown in your own heart." And so, with the wind behind her and a heart full of secrets, Nneka set out. The sun was rising gently over the rooftop of Umuaka. Children laughed and traders began to fill the market square. But at the boundary of the village, something unusual had happened. Two palace guards stood over a girl who looked like a flower crushed by a storm. She sat on the ground, her leg drawn to her chest, her arms shaking. Her face was dirty, her clothes torn, but even in that state, she was breathtaking. Her skin glowed like honey in the morning sun. Her eyes is big and wet with tears, looked up at the guards.
Please,
She said weakly,
I have come so far. I have nowhere else to go.
Who are you? Where are you from?
one guard asked, though his voice had already softened.
My name is Neka.
She said,
My parents are dead. My uncle, he wanted to take everything they left for me. When I refused, he tried to kill me. I ran away.
The guard exchanged a glance. They were trained to be suspicious, but her pain looked real. Her eyes seemed honest, and there was something about her voice. It was like music. "We had to take her to the king," one of them said. Moment later, Nneka stood before King Obieze in the palace court. The king has just returned from training with Prince Ikem and was about to retire to his chamber when the girl was brought before him. He frowned.
What is this?
The guards bowed.
My king, we found her at the edge of the village. She says she has no family, no home. She was crying. We didn't know what to do.
Nneka knelt slowly. Her eyes met the king's.
My king,
She said softly,
I do not mean harm. I only seek safety. I have wandered for days. I have no food, no water. I'm tired, so tired.
King Obieze looked at her and something inside him shifted. He had seen many women, but none had stirred his heart in years. This one was different. Her voice, her sadness, reminded him of something he had buried long ago. He waved his hand.
Rise.
She stood. He studied her closely.
You will not be harmed.
He said,
Guards, take her to the women's quarter. Let her bathe. Let her eat. And let her rest. Yes, my king.
As she was led away, Nneka looked back briefly and smiled. A secret smile, small and hidden. Days passed, then weeks. Nneka remained in the palace, quiet and respectful. She never asked for anything, but she was always near, helping, smiling, listening. The king noticed her kindness, the way she spoke gently to the servants, the way she lit up a room slowly. He began to speak of her. Prince Ikem watched with a quiet eyes. He didn't like it, but he said nothing. One evening, as the stars danced above the kingdom, the king sat in his chamber with Nneka. She told him stories of her childhood. She cried. He wiped her tears. That night, as the wind whispered through the palace wall, a dangerous seed was planted in the king's heart, a seed called love. The moon glowed silver over the rooftop of Umuaka. The star blinked gently above, as though watching with quiet concern. Inside the great palace, torch burned low, casting low shadow over the clay walls. The people slept, but not all were at peace. King Obieze sat by the open window of his private chamber, staring into the night. In his hand was a carved wooden comb, one that had belonged to his late wife. He rubbed it slowly between his fingers, but tonight, her memory no longer held him tightly. His heart was elsewhere. His thoughts danced around someone new, Neka, the orphan girl who now moved like a princess in the palace. Her presence had become as warm as the morning sun. Her laughter filled empty corners. Her eyes, soft as silk, met his in ways that made him feel young again. He tried to shake the feelings off, but they grew stronger with each passing day. One morning, as he walked through the palace garden, he saw her picking flowers. She wore a simple wrapper and her feet were bare. Yet, to him, she looked like a goddess.
Good morning, my king.
She said, bowing her head shyly. He smiled, slower this time.
You don't have to call me that. Not when it's just the two of us.
She looked up at him, her eyes wide.
Then, what shall I call you?
He stepped closer.
Call me Obieze.
That name, spoken in her voice, struck his heart like a drum beat, and that was when he knew he could no longer lie to himself. He wanted her. Later that night, the king summoned his son, Prince Ikem.
My son,
He said gently.
I have something important to tell you.
Prince Ikem bowed.
Yes, father. I have decided I will take another wife.
Ikem blinked.
What? She is kind, pure, a gift from the gods. I know I made a promise to your mother, but I must follow my heart. I want to marry Nneka.
The prince stepped back.
Father, you made a vow of love and loyalty. Mother Spirit still works this all. I know what I promise,
The king said firmly.
but I am still a man, and I have been lonely for too long.
Ikem's face darkened.
This is wrong. It is done.
The king said.
She will be queen before the next full moon.
The prince left in silence, but his heart was heavy. Something didn't feel right. He had watched Neka from the shadows. She was too quiet, too perfect. She knew exactly what to say, exactly how to act. And now, she had captured his father's heart. But what troubled Ikem the most was something deeper, something he couldn't explain. Because lately, even he had started dreaming of her. The day of the royal announcement came like a storm in dry season. Drums echoed through the village. Dancers gathered. The people of Umuaka wore their finest clothes and painted their faces with joy and surprise. The king is taking a new wife, they whispered. But didn't he swear never to remarry after the queen's death? He did. The palace gates were open wide. Food flowed like river water. Music filled the air. And at the center of it all sat Nneka, adorned in white beads, her hair woven into shining braids, her skin glowing like firelight. She smiled, sweet and calm, as the king took her hand in front of the people.
I, King Obieze, take Nneka as my wife.
He said.
May the gods bless this union.
Cheers rose from the crowd, but not everyone clapped. Prince Ikem stood at a distance, his arm folded. His heart was pounding like a talking drum. He watched his father smile like a boy. He watched Nneka lowered her head with forced humility. He wanted to scream, but he said nothing. That evening, as the sun sank behind the hills, A soft wind blew through the village, cool, strange, and sharp like a whisper. It came from the forest. It moved through the trees. It slipped into the palace, and with it came the chief priest, Okoronkwo, dressed in red and black, with shock marks on his face and a long staff in his hand. He did not dance. He did not smile. He went straight to the palace hall, where the king and his new bride sat before the elders.
My king,
Okoronkwo said in a deep, tired voice.
I have been silent for too long. I was visited by the spirit. The ancestors cried out to me. They said, danger walks in this palace. A shadow wearing a woman's skin. A storm wrapped in beauty.
The crowd gasped. Neka lowered her head, but her smile vanished for a moment.
Be careful, my king.
The priest warned.
Your steps are on a broken path. The woman you have married is not who she claimed to be. If you did not retrace your steps, your crown will fall. Your blood will stain this land.
The king stood slowly.
Enough!
He said,
Your words are heavy with fear. This is my wife. She has done no harm. She is a blessing. I have spoken.
the priest said.
Whether you listen or not is your choice, but the wind does not lie.
He turned and left, his staff tapping the stone floor as he walked. That night, lightning slit the sky. The moon hid behind the cloud, and inside her chamber, Neka stood before a small bowl of river water, whispering strange words. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her smile returned.
Soon,
She whispered.
very soon.
The palace no longer felt like home. Prince Ikem wandered his hall with a heavy heart. His father barely spoke to him now. The laughter they once shared as warriors, as father and son, had been replaced with silence. And in that silence, a new voice has grown louder. Nekas. She moved through the palace like a queen who had ruled for years, not days. Servants bowed to her. Elders praised her. The people adored her. But to Ikem, every smile she gave was like a snake's ease, fake, sweet, and deadly. He tried to focus on his duties, training the soldiers, watching over the kingdom, but something kept pulling him back to her. Her laughter, soft like winds in the trees, her scent, like wildflowers after rain. Her voice, it haunted him. One evening, he found himself standing outside her private chamber. He didn't know why. He told himself he just wanted to make sure she wasn't up to something strange. But when she opened the door and saw him there, she didn't ask questions. She only smiled.
Prince Ikem,
She said softly.
I was hoping you would come.
He stepped inside slowly. The room smelled of herbs and river stone. Candles flickered in the corners, and there in the center, she stood, barefoot, wrapped in a simple wrapper, her hair loosed over her shoulders.
I shouldn't be here.
He said, his voice low.
But you are.
She whispered, stepping closer. He should have walked away, but instead, he stayed. Her eyes held him like chain. Her hands brushed against his hem. And then, without a word, she kissed him. And he kissed her back. It was wrong, but it felt like magic. When they finally pulled apart, breathless and scared, she placed a hand on his chest.
Don't fight what you feel.
She said.
Your father may be king, but your heart is yours.
Ikem left that chamber that night shaking. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't think. The guilt pressed on his chest like a rock. He had betrayed his father. But what he didn't know was that the river maiden had planned it all. That kiss was part of her enchantment. A deeper spell had now been cast, one that would divide the king and his son, one that would shatter their bond. And from a dark bowl of water, Hidden in the shadow, Neka whispered to her tribe beyond the river, "It is done." Thunder rumbled across the sky as if the heaven was mourning. A strange unhinged honk in the air of Umuaka. Birds flew lower. The village dog howled in the night, and the river by the edge of the land bubbled without wind. Inside the palace, King Obieze sat on his throne, staring into space. He had not slept well for days. His heart felt distance. His son avoided him. His people whispered behind his back. Even Nneka, now his queen, had grew bolder. She no longer waited for him to speak. She gave commands. She made decisions. And worse, she had begun entering the king's sacred chamber without knocking. Something wasn't right. One morning, Obieze called for Prince Ikem, but Ikem did not come. Instead, a guard arrived, bowing low.
My king, your son is gone. Gone?
Obieze frowned.
Gone where? He left the palace at dawn, with no words. Some say he rode towards the mountain.
The king grew slowly. Anger filled his chest.
He dares to turn his back on his father.
That night, as the king sat alone, Nneka entered quietly holding a clay pot.
Drink, my love. It will calm your spirit.
He looked into the cup, unsure, but her eyes glowed in the candlelight, and slowly he drank. His body relaxed, his anger dulled, his thoughts became heavy, confused.
Let me take the pain away.
She whispered, brushing his hair.
Let me carry this kingdom for you.
Days turned to weeks. Nneka sat on the throne more often than Obieze. The council began to answer to her. Her voice filled the palace, and far away in the shadow of the eastern hill, Prince Ikem stood with a torn heart, watching from afar. He had tried to forget her, but her kiss haunted him. He knew he had failed his father, but something deeper troubled him. His dream was full of fire and water, of his mother's voice crying from the beyond. "She's not what she seems," the voice warned. "Your father is falling." One night, as the full moon rose, the enemies of Umuaka struck. They came with fire and blades, guided by warriors of the river tribe, Nneka's king. The gates were torn open from inside. Guards were poisoned in their sleep. Screams filled the palace. The enemy had entered the heart of the kingdom, and no one had seen it coming. In the chaos, King Obieze staggered from his chambers, weakened and confused. The poison in his blood slowed him. His sword dropped from his hand, and standing before him, dressed in dark beads and glowing eyes, was Nneka.
You?
He gasped.
Why?
She smiled coldly.
Because your crown was never meant for you. It belongs to the river.
With one gesture, enemy warriors seized him. He looked for his son, but Ikem was nowhere in sight. Blood stained the throne room. The enemy had come, and the river bride had opened the door. The drum of war beat like thunder in the hearts of the people. Flames danced through the village of Umuaka, licking earth, farms and memories. Screams echoed in the night. The sky, once peaceful and blue, turned red with smoke and sorrow. Prince Ikem heard the cry of his people before he saw the fire. He galloped down the mountain on his horse, heart pounding like war drums. From afar, he saw the once glorious palace now broken, its golden rooftop blackened by smoke, its gates shattered like dry wood. His people were running. Women clutched their children. Men fought with farm tools. The gas had been wiped out, and at the center of it all, flying the river tribe banner, was Nneka. She stood tall behind the enemy's general, her enchanted beauty now cold and wide, her eyes glowing like river stone under moonlight. She wore the king's crown, Ikem charged through the gates, swinging his blade.
Where is my father?
He roared. Neka turned to him slowly, her smile cruel.
You came back, my prince, too late.
She pointed. There in the center of the palace square lay King Obieze, his hands bound, his face bruised, yet his pride unbroken. He met Ikem's eyes with sorrow and strength.
My son.
The king said weakly. But before Ikem could reach him, the enemy surrounded them both. He fought with rage, his blade dancing like lightning, cutting through soldiers. But the river tribe had magic. They chanted, the ground shook, vines rose from the head, wrapping around his leg like snakes. He fell to his knees and then silence. Neka stepped forward, her bare feet soft against the bloodstream stone.
You both had power,
She said softly.
but you were blind. You fell for beauty, for lies, and now your kingdom falls with you.
The enemy general raised his sword.
No!
Ikem shouted, but it was too late. The blade came down, and the king's head rolled across the palace floor. Ikem screamed, tears burning into his eyes, heart broken beyond repair. The people watched, frozen by fear. Then the general turned to the prince.
You too must fall.
He said, but just as all hope began to fade, the wind changed, the river roared. From the darkness, a strange light shimmered in the sky above the palace. Then came the voice, soft as the wind, yet powerful as thunder. You came to destroy him, but he was already mine. A glowing figure appeared at the heart of the palace courtyard. Her long braided hair sparkled like starlight. Her eyes burned with grief and rage. She wore a flowing white cloth soaked in the waters of the spirit world. It was Queen Adamma, the king's late wife. But now, her true identity was revealed. She was a spirit of the river tribe. Many years ago, Adamma had been sent to the land of Umuaka as a secret weapon of the river people to enchant and destroy King Obieze. But fate had a different plan. She fell deeply in love with the king. Together, they birthed a son, Prince Ikem. The river tribe saw this as betrayal. Her punishment was death. Her body was buried in Umuaka, but her spirit had remained, watching, grieving, waiting. And now, her time had come. The traitors froze where they stood. Their weapons slipped from their fingers. Neka's face turned pale as the glowing spirit of Adamma floated towards her. You came to finish what I refused to do, but I shall finish what you began, the spirit whispered. With a wave of her hand, a powerful wave of water burst from the ground, swirling like a storm. The river tribe warriors screamed as the spirit water wrapped around them, dragging their bodies into the earth. One by one, they vanished into the depth of the spirit rain. Neka tried to run, but the river would not let her go. The very water she trusted turned against her. Her body was pulled under by unseen hands, her final scream swallowed by the silence. When the battle ended, the wind calmed, the fire burned out, only the sound of the river remained. When Adama's spirit turned to her son, my son, forgive me for the secrets I kept, but know this, I love you and your father deeply. I gave my life for love. Tonight, I gave justice for all we lost. Then she looked at King Obieze, whose body lay lifeless beneath a blood-stained tree. Her glowing hand touched his chest gently. Sleep, my king. We shall meet again. Her light faded into the wind, and with it, the river grew still once again. Only Prince Ikem remained, kneeling, weeping and shaking. The truth of his mother's past, his father's death, and the price of broken promises weighed heavily on him. The air was still, the river was quiet, and the once great kingdom of Umuaka lay broken. Days had passed since the great battle. The fire had gone out, the enemies were gone, swallowed by the wrath of the spirit queen. The river no longer roared, but the people still mourned, mourning a king who had ruled with pride and strength, but also with flaws that led to his fall. Prince Ikem walked slowly through the remains of the palace. His heart carried the weight of grief, truth, and the blood of both his parents. His father, King Obieze, now laid to rest in the royal tomb. His mother, Queen Hadamma, whose spirit had saved them all, returned to the river forever. The people gathered in the village square, tired, wounded, but united. Eyes turned to the young prince, the last flame of the royal bloodline. They did not chant his name. They did not shout. They simply bowed. The chief priest, his white beard soaked with tears, stepping forward with the royal staff.
You have seen pain. You have fought with honor. You have buried your father, but you are not broken. Prince Ikem, you are the son of a river spirit and a mighty king, and now you shall lead.
With trembling hand, he placed the crown upon Ikem's head.
From today, you are King Ikem of Umuaka. Let your reign heal what pride has broken. Let your heart be the shield of this land.
The people wept. Then slowly, they began to rise and chant, Igwe! Igwe! As the chant filled the air, King Ikem raised his eyes to the sky, then to the river beyond the hills. He whispered softly.
I will not forget.
Under his rule, Umuaka began to rebuild not just the walls, but the earth. He planted trees where blood has been spilled. He opened the palace to the poor. He welcomed the council of the elders and talked beyond the dangers of pride and blind love. He kept no secrets from his people, and in return, his people stood by him, not because they feared him, but because they trusted him. Lessons from the story. This story teaches us that even the strongest among us can be brought to ruin, not by enemies from outside, but by the silence of ignored wisdom and the comfort of broken promises. King Obieze was not defeated on the battlefield, but in his heart, he made a vow to love no other after the death of his queen. But when beauty knocked and grief whispered, he opened the door to his kingdom and to his own downfall. He overlooked the warnings. He trusted a stranger over the voices that had stood beside him, and his chosen desire over discernment. He lost everything: his crown, his son, and his life. This story is not just about betrayal. It is about the price of forgetting who you are and the danger of falling for what only looks like love. It reminds us that not every tear is pure, not every embrace is safe. Power without discipline is weakness. Leadership without listening is destruction. And love without loyalty is a cause waiting to happen. So guard your promises, honor your roots, listen when the ancestors speak, because what you ignore in peace may return in war. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying this story, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Also click the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. Feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Your support means everything to me. Until next time, stay safe, stay Stay blessed and keep enjoying great stories from me to you. I love you all. God bless you.